How did your 2003 trip to Uganda change your life?
We went to Uganda to try and work with organizations that were fighting HIV/AIDS. Uganda, is very famous for really tackling HIV/AIDS heads on, and although it had some of the highest percentage rates of infection, it has really been successful in lowering those rates. When we got there in 2003, the war in the north with the LRA, which is a rebel army led by a madman named Joseph Kony, was really ravaging the north and ravaging the Acholi people. And there's 1.2 Acholi people at the time that were in refugee camps. And everyone kept talking about the country as though it was split. I mean, it was almost like a civil war. It's like the south and the north and the south. And the south was where we had, planned to spend a majority of our time. Well, we got there and we had a camera and we had, a member of parliament who was from the north who basically begged us to go up there and document what was going on. So 3 of us went up to the north for about a week and a half, and it was unlike anything I could have ever imagined. I mean, you couldn't write up fiction. You have 1.2 million people in refugee camps. The LRA is an army made up completely of children, so they go in and they raid these camps and take 100, 200 kids at a time. So much so that at the time it wasn't safe for children to sleep at home or with their parents in these camps. They had to walk to town, sometimes up to 10 kilometers each way. They would sleep on the streets of town, and you would go, and there was 30 to 40,000 children at the time in Gulu. The concept that it is safer for children to sleep on the streets than it is for them to sleep with their families is something that I think us here, you can't fathom that. You cannot fathom that. At the same time, we met people that were working on the ground, Human Rights Focus, which was really an organization that was dedicated to calling out the government when they were, mishandling the situations in the camps, which they were. We made friends with a group of young people in their 20s, early 30s. They created an organization called Charity for Peace, and they were taking these children from the streets, volunteering, sleeping with them in basically a big school ground, and they would divide up the children, girls on one side, boys on the other, provide them with some games, monitor them as they slept, so there was some sort of sense of safety for these children on the streets. They took in 7,000 kids almost every night, and it was like people were doing things without any money, without any international support. There was part of me that was inspired that people were doing something, about it, and it also just is a place that sort of resonated with my soul. I mean, I was there and I felt at home, and I kind of feel this way about the world. I think there are certain places that resonate with your soul, and it doesn't necessarily have to make sense.